Contrary to popular belief, as narcissistic people tend to put on that grandiose, charismatic charm, they are some of the most fragile people you could ever meet. Therefore, as they are quite fragile, there's several things that threaten the narcissist's self-serving illusion of who they are as a person. Narcissistic people require that admiration. They lack the empathy. They have that inflated sense of self-importance. They're willing to exploit people to get their needs met. They're very self-entitled and they're very arrogant. And they are some of the most challenging people you could ever have to deal with. You could ever have to be around. They use these things to cover their fragile egos. They use their grandiosity and their arrogance to cover their fragile ego. And understanding the things that threaten the narcissist's fragile ego helps to protect yourself around them. As when it comes to dealing with narcissistic people, you should approach them with caution, and more often than not, however you choose to deal with them is going to be wrong in some way, as they like to change the goalposts. When you're dealing with a narcissist, ideally you don't want to trigger a narcissistic injury, because this then triggers them to go into their defense mechanism, and then they're more likely than not going to go all out to attack you, to seek revenge on you, and in their minds they believe that you deserve it. And with some narcissistic people who lack empathy, there's no low, they won't go to get one over on you. So when it comes to a narcissist, and it's not that easy, which is why distance is always your best method when dealing with them, one of the things that threatens who they are as a person is criticism, any form of criticism, even constructive feedback, well-intended advice. They take offense to these. They perceive them as a personal attack on them, and they go all out to attack back. They go all out to bring you crashing down so that they can feel superior, so that they can remain in control of themselves, so that they can remain in control of their fragile ego by discrediting you, by belittling you, by putting you down, by blaming, shaming and humiliating you, so that they can feel better about who they are as a person. Rejection, real or perceived. Criticism and rejection aren't things that most people like, and most people don't necessarily handle them the best. When you've been criticised, when you've been rejected in some way, it might not always be your finest moment. However, you usually have the empathy to care about the other person, and you usually go away and question yourself. Narcissistic people question the other person and perceive themselves to be better than others. So any sort of rejection questions the narcissist's belief that they are better than you, that they are more important, that everybody wants them, that everybody is envious of them. And you need to be cautious when rejecting a narcissist, because it does trigger a very strong negative reaction. When a genuine person is rejected, they can usually go away and think about what do I need to improve? What do I need to work on? What makes me a better person? And the genuine person will usually look at the mistakes they've made and work through flaws and issues and doubt themselves. With a narcissistic person, they kind of see it as, how dare you reject me? I'm far better than who you are as a person, so why on earth would you dare to reject me? And they then often seek to win you over so that they can be the one to reject you, or they seek to punish you in some way. Inadequacies. We all make mistakes. We all have our flaws. We can all be inadequate at something. We usually have an area that we either find naturally have a natural ability or that we have worked towards, and we still make mistakes in that area. However, with a narcissist, they perceive themselves to be perfect. They're arrogant enough to believe they already know everything. They perceive any sort of call out on their limitations, their mistakes, their flaws as a personal attack on them, which is usually why they will attack back towards you. It's not nice being called out on a mistake. It's not nice having a limitation. And when it happens, we can usually think, yeah, I need to go work on that. And we can feel icky. With a narcissist, they believe that you are the person who has gone against them. How dare you criticize them? How dare you point out one of their mistakes? How dare you reject one of their ideas? How dare you reject one of their opinions? Their opinions are far superior than yours, and they're going to go all out to either deny any mistake they've made, blame somebody else. They'll be very hostile to communicate with, and they will go all out to undermine you, to attack you, to get you on the defensive so that they can feel superior. Vulnerabilities. Vulnerability isn't a particularly nice thing when you're dealing with a narcissist and you go to try and explain how something has made you feel, and they accuse you of being too sensitive, of overreacting, of being insecure, of being jealous, of having trust issues, and you walk away questioning your perfectly normal emotional reactions rather than their actions. However, narcissistic people like to project this image to the outside world and to themselves that they're invincible, that they're perfect, that they don't make mistakes. So they don't want to be vulnerable and open and honest with you. Being vulnerable threatens the facade that they are selling not only to those around them but also to themselves. And this often leads them to manipulate, to be aggressive, to withdraw from communication, to avoid direct confrontation unless they can personally attack the other person so that they can feel superior. They don't want to be honest and open with their family, which is why they will usually shut down and go on the silent treatments and the sulks and find a way to blame and shame their family for it rather than to open up with themselves about their own vulnerabilities, because to themselves they're perfect and you're not. They're right and you're wrong. Lack of admiration. Narcissistic people thrive on praise and recognition, and it drives them to manipulate people. It drives them to sell an illusion to people so that they can get their desired needs met by people. And when they're not getting the validation and the attention and the admiration that they believe they're entitled to, they take offense to this. They turn around and attack you. This is why whenever a narcissist does something from you, they want that praise, they want that recognition. When they ask you to do something for them and you've got commitments that they know full well you've got those commitments, and they're commitments such as your children or work, things that you can't actually get out of and things that you wouldn't expect a loved one to get out of. A narcissist is going to use any little thing they've ever done for you against you to try and guilt you into letting somebody else down so that you serve the narcissist. And it is a form of their gaslighting, because they usually know that you've got something on. They feel like they're being rejected, they feel like they're being abandoned, they feel like they're not getting the attention they're entitled to. So they're going to make it as difficult for you to live a normal life as they possibly can so that they can keep their control over you. There's lots of different things that threaten a narcissist. Any that you notice, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot come no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon. One is a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and the other is 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, and I shall add the link to those in the video description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.